arrested in the Bahamas for over $3 billion of stolen customer funds. Allegedly. Yes, yes, yes. Sam Bankman Fried, or Scam Bankrun Fraud, as some may know him as, has been arrested. Yes, he got the cuffs. He did the perp walk in the Bahamas. Whom is Sam Bankman Fried, you say? Well, all you need to know is that he is the latest and the greatest in the long line of pyramid schemers, Ponzi schemers, scammers, and flimflammers out there. Yes, Bernie Madoff ain't got nothing on Sam Bankman Fried. He was a former CEO of FTX. He also owned a hedge fund called Alameda Research. We're going to get into exactly what he stole, the implications of it, and whom else is implicated in this particular complicated and diabolical scheme, ladies and gentlemen.
We have breaking news. Sam Bankman Fried, the founder of the collapsed crypto venture FTX, has been arrested in the Bahamas. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams says Bahamian authorities arrested Bankman Fried at a request of the U.S. government. The indictment is sealed at this time, but the U.S. attorney says that he will move to unseal the indictment in the morning. Prosecutors have been looking at Bankman Fried's use of FTX customer funds at his trading firm Alameda Research, losing his customers billions of dollars.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So he is the CEO of an exchange called FTX. What is an exchange? In the exchange is something like Robinhood. You go there, you buy assets, and you sell assets, right? You exchange with other people. FTX is a crypto exchange. He also has a company called Alameda Research. That was the first company he started, which is a hedge fund. He started that by taking advantage of arbitrage in the Bitcoin market. He was able to buy Bitcoin in the United States and sell it at a higher price in Japan because he noticed the price difference earlier on in the Bitcoin or the crypto cycle, if you will. So he was able to make his first billions or his first millions, if you will, as a result of doing that. But guess what? He started stealing money, okay, from FTX and putting it into Alameda Research, rehypothecating it, which is something that we'll get into it. What is that word, rehypothecate? What exactly did he do? Let's create a spectrum here, a spectrum all the way from, oops, I did something wrong. Maybe I took a little bit too much risk, okay, and I messed up, all the way through to fraud and theft, okay? There's something called a bank run. A bank run can lead to a liquidity problem. A liquidity problem is not as bad as an insolvency problem. And then you have straight theft and fraud. Let's go ahead and describe that a little bit. What is a bank run? So when you take your money, $100, and you put it into the bank immediately loans that money out. As a matter of fact, they can loan out $900 for every $100 you put in there. Yes, it's called fractional reserve banking. The bank can lever up your money 9 times. Great business, the banking business. But as a result, it is highly, heavily regulated. Okay? So if you show up tomorrow, you run to the bank, okay? And a run on the bank is everybody shows up together and everybody wants their $100. The bank doesn't actually have that $100. It's going to be facing a liquidity problem. It has to go and sell assets, become liquid, and then give you your money. That's a liquidity problem, okay? Not too bad. And then you have an insolvency problem. An insolvency problem is when the bank doesn't have your cash and they don't have enough assets to match your $100. They don't have $100 worth of assets. That's an insolvency problem. A run on the bank, okay, which can lead to a liquidity problem, can also then lead to an insolvency problem in the sense that as you go to sell those assets, the price of the assets go down. As you try to dump assets to give you your $100 back, okay, as the bank tries to dump the assets to give you your $100 back, the price of the assets go down and boom, now they only have $60. So that's an insolvency problem. An insolvency problem is something that happened with Lehman Brothers in 2008. So the financial crisis, big financial crisis of 2008 was in the insolvency area. Okay, so insolvency means they don't have enough assets to give you your money back. Okay, they're not it's not only that you're just not liquid enough, but they actually don't have the assets either because they never had it or because the price dropped and they cannot give you your money back. And then you have straight theft, which is something that Alameda SBF did, stealing customer funds, okay, from FTX and putting it in another company and doing some rather complicated things with it, which we'll get into in a second. This is Michael Saylor, okay? And Michael Saylor is going to be breaking down a little bit exactly what SBF was up to.
So what he did was, in essence, extract $10 billion of real stuff, dollars, Bitcoin, saleable assets, and he pledged $10 billion worth of air token stuff. And of course, it's a double diabolical thing. Here's the problem. So I create a token. I have 300 million tokens, and then I basically trade it with myself. Like I give it to you and you work for me and you give it back to me. Then I lean on it. So I lever it up 10 to 1.
So when he says to give it to you, you give it back to me, he's talking about going from FTX to Alameda Research. And then when he talks about leaning on it, he's talking about leveraging it, right? Basically meaning using it as collateral. Okay, let's continue.
Work for me and you give it back to me. Then I lean on it. So I lever it up 10 to 1. You know, on FTX, you could lever it 20 to 1. Then I borrow your money. You're a depositor. So I take your money. You have $10 million. I lever it up 20 to 1. I have $200 million. I buy my own token. I drive my token up by $5. $5 times 300 million makes me 1.5 billion in collateral. I post the collateral, and then I withdraw $1 billion of, 100,000 people's money. I put it in Alameda, and then Alameda gives a $3.5 billion loan to Sam, right? He gave $3.3 billion to either himself or his personal family holding company.
$3.3 billion to either himself or his personal family holding company. Okay, that's $3.3 billion effectively of depositor money, which is a no-no, okay? If an exchange goes bankrupt tomorrow, they should still have customer deposits. Customer deposits are never to be touched. The way it works is if you go bankrupt tomorrow, you need to have assets, okay? Assets equaling the deposits of your customers so that you can give them back. Okay, remember we talked about the liquidity and then the insolvency. Okay, this was not a liquidity thing. This is not an insolvency thing. This is a straight up theft thing. And not only did he steal, okay, he stole, and what was described by Mr. Saylor here was what's called rehypothecation. If all that sounded like Greek, let's explain it. Basically, what he did was, imagine I steal your car. Okay, I steal your car, and your car is worth $10,000. So not only did I steal your car, I take it to a bank and I use it as collateral to get a $10,000 loan. And not only do I go to just one bank, I go to like 10 banks. So I steal your car, which is worth $10,000, and then I use the same car as collateral 10 times in 10 different places through complicated schemes of creating tokens and whatnot. Okay, again, remember, a bank run, which can lead to a liquidity problem, just basically means, hey, I don't have the liquid cash right now. I got to go sell some assets to give you your money back. An insolvency problem is I don't have the cash and I don't have the assets. Maybe as I was selling the assets, the price dropped down, so I don't really have enough to pay you. A straight theft situation is when I take your money. Okay, I take your $100 that you put in the bank, following our former analogy. Okay, and not only did I take your $100, I went to different places and I multiplied it through complicated token schemes in an unregulated market in the Bahamas. Okay, this is the level of scheming that we're talking about. Now, it's not particularly complex, it's just ridiculously risky. Like, how did you expect to get out of that one? How do you expect to get out of that one? Right? Because it's one thing to say, okay, I'm going to play a little risky with my liquidity. Okay, but because I don't expect to run on the bank. Not everybody's going to come and ask for their money. But if they come and ask for their money, okay, maybe I'll give them like in a few weeks. Okay, in a few weeks, I can go sell some assets. Oh, crap, I'm insolvent. I don't have, my assets are not worth your stuff. Okay, but this is me stealing your stuff and then levering it up. Okay, how did he ever expect to be able to pay that back? Now, this is not the only complication in this issue. And by this, I mean, it's not just that he stole, but there are many other people implicated in this. The media is implicated in this. Kevin O'Leary. You know Kevin O'Leary? Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. Yes, Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank got 15 million dollars. Okay, not 6 figures, not 7 figures. He got 8 figures to promote Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX. Politicians, okay, might get implicated in this because Sam Bankman-Fried was one of the largest donors to the Democratic Party. His parents actually are Stanford professors whom are great organizers, or they do what's called bundling of money for politicians. Okay, and this is not whether it's a Democrat or Republican thing. Basically, the question is, whom else is implicated? How deep does this go? Is it going to be one of those situations where we're going to be saying SBF did not kill himself? Huh? Well, let's hear a little bit about that.
The people covering for SBF, it continues to be an absolute joke. The number of interviews that SBF is doing is absurd, but the people carrying water for him is even more offensive. I mean, if you're a criminal trying to cover up your crime, okay, we get it. You're trying to cover up and stay out of jail. But Kevin O'Leary, who calls himself Mr. Wonderful, was on CNBC trying to defend the fact that he was given, this is stunning, by the way, $15 million to be a spokesperson for FTX. So the grift not only went to the press, politicians, but now commentators on CNBC, $15 million. To put that in context, I mean, you're talking what an elite NBA player gets from Nike. This does not exist in the world. Kevin O'Leary might get, 50 to 200K for speaking gigs, but nobody gets $15 million to show.
Shark Tank star and investor Kevin O'Leary, known in some circles as Mr. Wonderful, has claimed he has all but lost the $15 million FTX paid him to be its official spokesperson.
Okay, he is claiming that he has lost that money. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So again, where are we with this? We are seeing a situation where ungodly amounts of money, given the situation, is given to someone like Kevin O'Leary, a spokesperson, whom, by the way, soft pedaled the entire thing and was rather lenient in what he said about SBF prior to it coming out that he got the 15 million. Okay. People in politics and in media are all tied up in the slush money, this billions and billions of dollars that we're talking about. He was paying off people left and right. His parents might get implicated in this because the condo in the Bahamas is in his parents' name. His parents are actually in the Bahamas right now, and they may never return. They may get implicated one way or the other. He got arrested, by the way, just days before he was scheduled to speak in front, or testify, I should say, in front of Congress in Maxine Waters' committee. Yes, Maxine Waters invited him over to say, hey, come talk to us about this FTX thing. Many of our citizens, our constituents, have lost money from this particular bust that happened here. Come talk to us about it. And by the way, he is a huge contributor, to them, politically. All right. So we have implications that are going to go far and wide in this case here. All right. So Elizabeth Holmes, if you remember Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos, okay, the fake turtleneck lady doing the fake blood testing thing. She recently got convicted and sentenced, okay, I believe to 6 years. Okay, so she didn't get away with it, and now he is getting arrested. What are the implications going to be going forward? So, ladies and gentlemen, all right, this is a quick one. Just wanted to get this breaking news out there. But basically, we have painted the picture all the way from I make a little risky investments, all right, and I have a liquidity problem, or I have an insolvency problem. I don't have the enough assets to give you your money back, or as I was selling the assets to give you your money back as a result of the bank run, which led to a liquidity problem, I then lost the value of the assets because the asset prices dropped down as I tried to dump it into the market, and I don't have your money. And then there's the straight up theft. An insolvency problem is what happened in 2008 with Lehman Brothers. This is straight up theft. And not only did he steal, as we understood, as we listened to Mr. Michael Saylor describe, he stole and then levered up the money he stole. And as I described it, it's like stealing your car and then taking your car to the bank, using it as collateral to get money, okay? And then going to 10 other banks using the same collateral, and all this between his two companies, Alameda Research and FTX, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a continuing news. Many implications are going to follow. We don't know where this is going to end and so on. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about FTX? What are your thoughts about Sam Bankman-Fried? Whom are the other people that are going to be implicated? How deep will the rabbit hole go, ladies and gentlemen? Well, Thank you for watching. This is Iko Gammon. Until next time, peace.